Good evening, Coach. Gladys from NTV Kenya. Coach, I think today we saw a bit of brilliance from your team. Of course, you said earlier that you're getting better with every game. I'd just like to know, Coach, how was the game for you today? And just probably you can talk to me about Albert Odero's performance today.
Yeah, the game for me today, obviously, these are not the way we want to end games, right? We're 0-4 now. I think the locker room message at the end of the game was, I was really happy kind of how we stood up. We didn't back down. I think you saw our game against them the first time around, and they had sort of a sizable lead in the second half. And unfortunately, in that scenario, we kind of rolled over and we kind of let them just steamroll us. And today, I felt like we didn't do that. Like we kept a real fighting spirit all the way to the end. Yeah, and guys really, I felt like we stayed together as a team. Guys played well, and you could see we kept fighting, and the margin of the lead, it went down. And I think I kind of wanted our guys to leave with that. Albert Odero, yeah, Al played a great game today. I think he really competed hard. He obviously scored some points for us. He got some great transition baskets. Al's a great offensive player, and I think we used him for that today. And yeah, a lot of our guys, I think, really competed. So.
Questions? Yes, Franklin.
Franklin, yeah. Uchenna, in the fourth quarter, the team tried to play a bit of full court press and yielded a lot of fruits in a short time. Take us through why you chose to play that specific defense, and then in a short while you went away from it. And then, Coach, you have found a lot of success. The team has found a lot of success in playing small games within games. That is transitioning and getting a 3-on-2, a 2-on-1. You did not do a lot of that today. And then, secondly, in the half court, are you pleased with how you have run your half court sets, especially that almost with every set you settle for a 3-pointer, sometimes which are not really falling?
To start with your first question about the press, I think that's just, basketball strategy in the fourth quarter when it's a close game to try and put some pressure on the other team, hopefully trying to force some turnovers, eat up some of the shot clock to force them to take a bad shot. So that's something that we practice. We just keep it, and every team usually does, in the back pocket, a press to kind of heat the game up. So being that the game was close and the time was kind of winding down, it just made sense for us to kind of try and, change things up with our press.
Coach.
Yeah. I actually thought, in general, I thought our transition game was a little bit better today, especially against them. We always, I think, would still like to play faster in transition, especially in primary break, but I didn't think it was too bad tonight. And about our half-court sets, I think there's some pace that's lacking. I think there's some principles like we'd really love to be kind of like repeated, and it's felt like a struggle. Like we'll do it in moments, but we tend not to stick with it, and like our execution level hasn't been really high. So yeah, there's work to be done there.
Question?
Coach, ADBNB, Kigali, you were 3 debutants in this conference, but you are the one who are yet to get a win. What do you think you've been lacking specifically?
Yeah, if I had to try to put my finger on it, I think just the overall ingredient, I think we're still, like, there's a little bit of cohesiveness that we've lacked. I think we see it in moments. I think you saw it tonight in moments, but I think as we work with different lineup combinations, we find it lacking sometimes. And unfortunately, sometimes those, when we get down in those scenarios, it sometimes can be hard to come back on, especially with playing against really good teams.
Questions?
Thank you, Jason from Radio France. Coach, of course, not the kind of debut that any team would want to go through, but quite a good game today. You're yet to get your first win, but ahead of the two final games, what are your plans and what are your objectives? Looking forward to maybe having some fans who have traveled all the way from Nairobi to Kigali to get some good entertainment. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think obviously we had a really closely contested game against MBB. The last time we played them, felt like we should have won that game. We made some mistakes in the second half. So, I mean, I think we want to make history. We want to be the first Kenyan club to win a game in the BAL. So I think that's our goal for the weekend. And I think just to kind of continue to improve, continue to stay together. Overall, I think our guys are still really committed to each other, which is great because and that can be tough to do, going down 0-4, and I think losing in a really heartbreaking way in our third game. So credit to the guys. I think in the leaders in the locker room. Overall we're really together, and I think we want to play with a lot of pride in these last two games and really try to win one.
Have any questions? Rotimi Akindele, last question.
Good evening, everyone. Rotimi from Nigeria. Uche and Alpha.
How you doing?
I'm very well. Okay, question is for you. Coming off from, it's your second time in the BAL, coming up from Slack. That's the SLAC team. One of the leaders of this team, no doubt. Do you think there's any sort of individual pressure on you to deliver, especially coming off the last question where Kenya needs a win in the BAL? Do you think there's pressure on you to deliver?
I believe so, but no, I don't think not in the traditional sense where it's like a weight that you're not able to carry. I think there's good pressure, and I think there's a level of pressure, so to speak, that you have to step into once you're a leader and once you're one of the veterans. So I've had some experience and a good amount of that in my career, and being one of the other captains and leaders of this team, I do carry a little bit more pressure than some of the other guys. So whatever's needed of me to try and inspire the guys and give extra to try and get that win, I have to give that, and there's really no excuses, and that comes with being the leader. You kind of have to shoulder that responsibility, and I don't shy away from that. So there is pressure, but I don't want to be cliche and say pressure makes diamonds, so I'll just say pressure can be good.
Last one.
Yeah, Uchenna, Gladys from NTV Kenya. I just want to know, like in the third quarter, I felt, my opinion again, Tripoli were not exactly at their best, and you guys now started showing up, and you put a lot of pressure in the third and fourth quarter, and you turned up. And you would have probably turned the game around, because for the first time in this game, we saw them missing 3s and 2s and easy baskets. Is there a point at that particular point that you and the boys felt that probably you would have just turned around and probably caused an upset?
Absolutely. There were a lot of times in this game, we got it to I think 6 one time, and we were cutting the lead at different times. In almost every game, there's like 2 or 3 of those moments where it's like, all right, if you capitalize right now, go on a run, cause some stops, the game can completely turn around. So I think that's basketball right there. Who can capitalize the most on those moments where the pendulum could shift either way? So, capitalizing on momentum, getting stops, with the team that can lock in and get some easy baskets, take care of the ball, all those things go into maximizing those moments. So we definitely felt at a couple different times that, we could have capitalized. I think we did go on some good runs, but obviously it wasn't enough in the end. So we'll be better at, trying to capitalize on those moments moving forward.
And that perspective from Uchenna concludes this post-game press conference. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Coach, thank you. Uchenna,
Thank you, everyone.